Hey guys, Tim K Fishing coming at you from the shop. That intro felt like I was Mr. Rogers getting ready to put his shoes and sweater on. Anyway, hey, I know you haven't seen me around in a while. Made a bunch of changes recently. I kind of got a little discouraged with tournament fishing last year because of all the changes in the rules and the structures and the formats, and it just became just a nightmare. And then secondly, I got a little discouraged with the whole micro influencer programs. Seems like these companies want more for less. It just became very discouraging. So what I decided to do back in August, end of August, 1st of September, decided to actually start my own bait company and jump into the fray of soft plastic baits and jigs and swim jigs and all kinds of melty lead hooky things and all kinds of weird stuff. You may be asking yourself why. It is a saturated market. However, with all of these private equity companies buying up all these bait manufacturers, what's going to happen is that all of these specialty baits that are out there are probably going to end up going away. See, private equity companies, they're not into anything for the long haul. They're not into creating a product for the masses. They want to get a quick return on investment and get out. So you're probably going to see, unfortunately, a lot of the unique baits that are out there probably go away, especially by these companies that were bought out by these big private equity firms. Ben Milliken actually did a really great video on private equity and what does it mean to the tackle industry. So I would encourage you to go to his Facebook page and check it out. So with that said, so what I did is I started my own bait company. You might be able to see that up there. Boop, 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 right there. Pirate Bait Company. Why Pirate Bait Company? I don't know. I always liked pirates as a kid. And what I'm doing is I'm really focusing on creating baits that actually catch fish and not fishermen. I mean, there are a ton of baits out there, many of which, unfortunately, just are good at catching fishermen and not really good at catching fish. So back in, as I said, September, started the bait company. I'm working on a website now, piratebaitcompany.com. It's not up and running yet. Probably spring it will be. Working on packaging, working on creating a shop. I mean, if you guys remember my shop before, it was wall-to-wall tackle and fishing rods. And literally, I've kind of consolidated, sold off a bunch of stuff, and now converting it to a kind of a manufacturing facility. And I'll take you on a little. This is kind of the lead pouring station. So we're going to make swim jigs. We are going to make swim bait heads. And also just your basic flipping, skipping jig. So I'll show you some stuff I've been playing with. Oh, this is also another good one. Shouldn't show you this. This is my own design for shaky head for grass Potomac River fishing. Anyways, more on that later. But, basically swim jig heads, swim bait heads. So I've been playing around with different hooks, head design, powder paint, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, this is the jig station. That up there is called a fluid bed. Boop. Basically, you put powder paint in there. There's a pump that blows air. I'll show you more of this stuff. So I'm going to create a bunch of other videos. And it helps you powder paint, and you put it in the oven down here. Beep boop. Oven, don't get blurry on me. There you go. Anywho's, I'll show you more of that stuff as we get into this. Then, of course, every tackle shop has to have a test tank. And, please excuse the watercolor. I put in a couple rocks, and they were dirty. Therefore, my water looks like the James River, which might not be a bad thing, actually. So, anywho's. Then this station, this is where the soft plastic magic happens, right here. So basically I have the capability in these large pots to mix about 3 gallons of soft plastic. These are stirrers that sit on top. They're all temperature controlled. I set the temperature, it maintains it in the pot. The stirrer keeps stirring the plastic flake and salt. Then we can mass produce soft plastics. This deal here is just a little pressure tank. You get a lot of air bubbles when you're using salt. That just vacuums out air. The coolest thing, though, about this whole deal, if you're a guy, you'll appreciate this. Boom. Remote control. So my little stirrers, oh yeah, they're all controlled by remote control. I know you can probably say to yourself, well, Tim, why don't you just push the button to turn it on? Because I'm a guy. We like remote controls. That's how we roll. This up here, it's a gigantic vent hood. So if you've ever played with soft plastic baits, they really stink and they put off a ton of smoke. So what I did is I built this vent hood, and you can see up on top of here, there is that thing. It's all ducted in, sucks fumes and smoke out, and then discharges it. I modified the window in my garage with an exhaust vent. So the cool thing is that little thing there moves about 1,000 cubic feet of air a minute. So virtually, I don't get any smoke or fumes as I'm cooking plastic. It's a crazy sort of setup. Like, it has this little thing, like I just push it. It has all these different modes for humidity and temperature, and of course basic on. But it was designed by, hang on, my other phone is now ringing. The indoor plant growing people. So, but anyways, hey, that's kind of cool too right here. So here's my dad and my grandfather introduced me to this crazy activity. And my dad passed away about 11 years ago, so this is a little tribute to my dad. And this picture was hanging in my camp. I've got a camp up in the mountains in upstate New York that my grandfather put up probably 50 years ago. So I kind of hung it here as a tribute to my grandfather and my dad. And the reason for the dogs, my grandfather had Labradors. Every one of them was named Jake. So Jake 1, Jake 2, Jake 3. And he loved his labs, and he loved the name Jake. So he would just change collar from one Jake to the next Jake. So anyways, grandfather kept it simple. But yeah, so here's all kinds of colorants and dyes and sparkly flakies and all kinds of goodies. One thing that I quickly realized when starting a bait business is that it's a little bit spendy. Like these machines here, they're about $2,000. Then you got all these injectors, you got all these colorants and doodads and whatnots. So it adds up quick. Oh God, down here we have microwaves for heating plastic. Of course you have the plastic. So one thing that I'm trying to do is do a whole ton of research about how to make your own stuff. So in production of baits, you have molds, which is what you see here. These are molds, bing, 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 bing. And you've got each one of these. I'll open one up. I'll have one up here. Quick and easy. But inside of a mold basically looks like this. Inject your baits. And you're using probably 12 to 20 different molds at one time, and they're very hot. So you inject plastic at about 325 degrees. And what you've got to do is cool down these molds. So you make these, water actually flows through these plates. They're called cooling plates. And it runs down to a bucket that has ice in it. And you can buy three of these for about $100. But I'm able to make them. Now, one of these pieces of aluminum is 20, so I got about $25 into one of these plates. So what I'm going to do another video on how to make those cooling plates. So I sourced all the material right from Amazon, real cheap. So I'm going to turn this blank piece of aluminum into a cooling plate. And I'll do another video showing how I do that. It's really pretty freaking simple. It doesn't require any special tools. a drill and some drill bits and a little bit of creativity, and you're good to go. The other thing, when you're running a bunch of molds, you've got to somehow clamp these together so that the plastic doesn't flash out of the mold and into the flat spots and create a mess. So they have these pneumatic vices, and they're about $500 for one that's about 30 inches wide. Same thing, all this stuff back here I sourced on Amazon to build my own pneumatic vice, and these are pneumatic actuators, air powered. But I can build one for about $200. And again, I will do a video on how to build your own pneumatic vise. So you guys that are out there that are already doing this, as I said, there's somebody online that sells a 30-inch for $500. I think these are 43 inches, and I got about $200 of material into that. So I got some how-to videos coming up, but as I said, it's a huge cost savings. So you can build your own stuff. Like this exhaust hood, that little contraption on top. Yeah, you can buy one, a duct vent, motorized. They're pretty expensive, but as I said, the marijuana growers got it figured out, man. That thing was $99, 1,000 cubic feet per minute. One that's for duct work is $200 or $300. And the thing works amazing. Yeah, so I just want to do a short video kind of telling you where I am and what I'm doing and why you haven't seen me around and what's coming. So we'll do a bunch of videos on lead pouring, powder painting, jig making, tank testing. So I've worked with a plastic company to create a proprietary blend of plastic that's going to give us a little bit of a unique action. I'll tell you more about that in another video. And I'll actually show you some stuff in the test tank. Hopefully my water clears up, or we're just going to call it the James River test tank, because it kind of looks like the James River before a rain. After a rain, you wouldn't see anything. I'll take you through how to make soft plastics, pouring, using all the fancy equipment, and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where we've been for the past couple of months. Give you a little sneak peek here. So I was pouring yesterday and creating thumbnails, and these are some craws. Obviously, you're probably familiar with this particular color. Bama bug, Bama craw, then you've got Okeechobee craw, which is that blue with that green pumpkin. Then I've got a new one that you haven't seen yet. It's called Calico Jack, and it has this light colored bottom, a little bit of blue in the middle, and then transitioning to that orange on the back and the top and the claws. So think about a crawdad springtime, late spring, summer. So it kind of gives you the full. Then I've got another red one coming out to give you that late summer sort of red-black craw look. So anyways, more on that stuff coming later. All kinds of, as I said, I was working on formulas yesterday. That's what this is. And yeah, so that's where we've been. Anyways, more to come. Thank you for watching. Do me a huge favor, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscriptions are free for this month only. So please hit subscribe and tell a friend or two or three or six or more. And get them to subscribe as well. So thank you all very much for watching. We'll talk to you all soon. Take care.